So Cardano ADA has dropped more than 10.5% to the downside, and in addition to that, we have seen lower lows, given the fact that the local low at around 66 cents was broken, which then resulted in a breakout structure, which further confirmed that we are on a bearish trend. And as you guys know, I have been tracking the WXY structure to the downside, where the Y wave target sits at around 63 to 65 cents. And in my previous video, I was looking at ADA to potentially reach anywhere between 69.73 cents to 72.19 cents for our X wave. However, we failed to reach that target, and instead we ended up getting rejected at the 50 EMA. However, as long as the X wave met the minimum requirement, which is a 23.6% retracement of the W wave, then this wave structure is still valid. And so if I remove this and check to see if that minimum requirement was met, and yeah, you can see that the 23.6% retracement level sits at 68.08 cents, and we ended up going even higher than that level. And if I quickly go on a 5-minute chart, what you can see is that the X wave is also made up of a WXY structure where the Y wave was explosive, which is something that we've seen frequently recently. And so I am still satisfied with this X wave, and what we can do now is track the Y wave. So if I remove this now, since we no longer need it, and just drop this to over here, and that Y wave is typically a 1 to 1.236 retracement of the W wave. So if I bring this to the right position, and you can see that ADA has the potential to reach anywhere between 61.85 cents to around 63.19 cents. And so if I just zoom in and draw that in, and you can also see that this target actually sits deeper than our wave Y target. And it's possible that ADA could actually tap into this bigger target here. And should that be the case, then it's possible that this WXY structure that I'm tracking could be complete, and then we see that move to the upside where ADA can then potentially reach the 8-cent mark. But the flip side to that could be that there is a bigger move to the downside where we have a bigger WXY structure form, and ADA can then potentially reach the lower target, which is around that 53-cent mark. Now, I am slightly bearish, and reason being is we do have the Fed meeting that's tomorrow, and it's looking likely that we are going to see a pause on the rates. And so if you go on CME Fed Watch, you can see that there is a 97.7% chance that the Fed is going to pause the rates. And to me, that's bearish, because ideally what you want to see is the rates being cut. And it's looking likely that in June also that we are going to see a pause on the rates, which again is going to be bearish in my eyes, in my opinion. And so it's possible that for the next couple of months, what we're going to see is a bearish trend. And should that be the case, then ADA has the potential to actually drop even deeper than this level here at 51 cents. And it will be interesting to see if ADA can actually tap into this region, which is something I've been tracking for a while. Now, in addition to that, you can see that the stochastic RSI is indicating that we are almost within the overbought conditions. And it's possible that the bears can then regain control of the market and then potentially drive the price of ADA down towards these lower targets. Now, as for the 4-hour chart, we are oversold. And so it's possible that we see a recovery on the price of ADA. And now, of course, the stochastic RSI is only an indication on the momentum as opposed to, a reflection on the price action. And you can also see that the 50 EMA is also on the brink of crossing the 200 EMA, which is also known as a death cross. And should that be the case, then that would then further confirm that we are on a bearish trend. And so it will be interesting to see how ADA reacts to the Fed meeting tomorrow. And again, I am anticipating a further move to the downside where ADA can then potentially reach this target here. Whether that happens today or whether that happens tomorrow, only time will tell. But of course, this is something I'm going to be tracking. And so that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.